Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in tonight. My name is Candace. I am the creator of this channel. It's me time, and tonight is a very exciting night. The video podcast This Is About You launches right now, so stay tuned. So I'm Candace. I was raped by Troy Shank in 2018 in Kamloops, BC. I had gone out for a night with a friend, and unfortunately, it ended up being a night that would never leave my existence. And since then, I've gone through quite an extreme whirlwind of things between just trying to live in my skin and the initial aftermath to court stuff and trying to get my ban off of my name. And the amount that I've gone through in 6 years is well worth a podcast. So that's more or less what I'm here for, is to share my experiences that I've gone through with you, because I know I'm not the only one. I know that I, I know I'm not the only one. We need to be questioning our government officials and authorities. We need to be questioning what is on our name, what is not on our name, what our rights are, because these are all things that I wasn't explained when I went through my process that I did. And unfortunately for me, my process, Troy raped me in 2018. I found out about other people in 2021, and I watched him plead guilty for me in 2024 in April. And so, you know, there's so much to be said for what isn't supposed to be said. And it's I don't agree with it. It's not right. Like, for me to be punished in silence because somebody else decided to weaponize their body doesn't sit well with me. So I'm here to, I guess, challenge the status quo or just ask questions, because it seems like there's a lot of questions that really need to be asked. And that's something that really bothers me, is that I didn't know what questions to ask. I didn't know who to ask. I didn't know how to ask. All I knew is that I had gotten raped, and I knew that I had been told my entire life to trust authorities and trust certain people. And so when I did the things that I was supposed to do, I came forward. I gave statements. I went and got my rape kit done, and there wasn't even a female in the room. Like, there was no nurse when I had my rape kit done. And this is the piece that's just doesn't make sense. And I can't make it make sense. Like, there was nobody there. Like, I had connections with victim services, but they didn't do things properly. The police didn't do things properly. The nurses and doctors didn't do things properly. Crown didn't do things properly. And this is where my problems lie, is because not only did I put my full trust and faith into the services in which we all pay tax dollars to, we employ them. So not only was I failed by essentially the biggest service industry in, I don't know, the country, maybe, they just completely rocked my world. And when I went through the things, I had hope for a trial for the whole time. So I got raped in 2018, and I kept having to go on with my life. I needed to pay bills. I saw life happening. I was struggling at that time, and wanting to not live in my skin because of a man named Troy Shank wasn't in my plans. Troy wasn't in my plans. But I am here today, and I wasn't part of my plans either. Me living to this day to be sitting here doing a video podcast on my very own YouTube channel, trying to help other people and tell them that they're not alone. is something that I didn't expect. Yet here I am, and miracles happen. These people, they do these things that are so horrible, and nobody understands why, yet it's so common, but nobody's talking about it. And that's what I don't understand, is because why is nobody talking about it? Why, when I got my publication ban off, did nobody know what rules to follow? Or even if they did know the rules to follow, why did they feel so comfortable not following them? Why is this the system in which we live? Because I'm not the only person that has gotten raped. And yet, where are all of the people? Where are the survivors? Like, these people that have done these things to you and to me, they don't deserve your voice and your silence, and they don't deserve mine. They deserve healing. They deserve exposure. They deserve to have their name spoken loud and clear, because yes, Troy Shank did rape me. And yes, that person did hurt you. And it is okay to say their name. And it is just okay to say what they did. But it's not okay for me to carry that. No, it's not okay for you to carry that either. You don't have to, just like I don't have to. And that's what this whole thing is about. Like, I don't wish Troy harm. I don't wish Troy the same thing that he has done, casted upon others. I wish him healing, because that's what literally this world needs, is healing. If we could heal the Troy Shanks of the world, and if we could have these people talking about the things that they've done and why they've done them and why they felt like they were entitled to do these things, and then let's talk about the feelings behind that. Let's really get deep, because this shit lasts a lifetime, and I've got a lifetime to sit here and talk about it. For so many people that get assaulted, the assaulters seem to be pretty scarce. That's what this whole thing's about. I fought for my voice, and I fought for my story to be told out of my mouth without punishment. I fought for my story to be told on this platform publicly without punishment, which is maddening to have to have fought for that when I'm talking about my truth. I woke up this morning, I took my medication. It's just my truth. What's the difference in me telling a different part of my story? Who is it protecting? And that's the thing too, is like, you come forward and these bans are placed on our names for what? And that's what I kept wondering about for myself, is like, who is this ban on my name for? Like, if I didn't even know about it, but yet it was so important that I could have been penalized for it, not only like a year or something earlier, not even a year earlier. If it was that important, why didn't they tell me about it? Like, why didn't they tell you about yours? Like, ask questions. If you came forward, and this is the thing, is like, it's supposed to be safe to come forward. I want it to be able to be safe to come forward. It should be safe. Like, we pay for it to be safe to come forward, but it's not. And that's the paradox and the contradiction between civilian, I suppose, myself, and authority. Because authority wasn't doing what authority is supposed to do. I was a civilian in the courtroom when I got my publication ban off because nobody showed up for me. I'm a civilian. And within all of these different aspects of my life that I've just so lightly surface touched on, I have been completely rocked by the systems. But as much as I have been rocked within the systems, I also have worked so hard to become the person that I am and to not let this define me and to move through it with grace and with dignity to the best of my ability at all times. Because even though these things happen to us and even though things out of our control spill into our lives because hurt people, there is a way to be okay, and there is a way to move forward without hate and without shame and without self repulsion, because I know that all too well. That was my home for a really long time, and I know that place so well that I am here talking to you to tell you that you don't have to live there. And I'm here to provide a light and to show a piece of guidance, because you are worth more than what you think you are and what other people have shown you. And you're worth more than those words that you hear in your head, because if you really, really listen to those words in your head, like, whose voice is that? Is it really yours? Because it took me a really long time to recognize that the voices, those rude things, the comments, the negative self-talk, the self-hate, the self-disgust, everything that I had loathed myself through wasn't even my voice. And there's a lot of power in awareness, and there's a lot of power in the commonalities between healing different traumas. And I have been isolated and alone for so long. And I know that there's been so many people that feel the same way, and it doesn't have to be that way. I feel like we're all in our own little like bubbles, and if we all just popped our own bubbles, the amount of connectedness is absolutely unreal. And we are powerful. We are survivors. We have we have survived up until now, up until this point, this day, this moment, until hearing this. And I'm not speaking this for no reason, and you're not listening to this for no reason. And so for the alignment to be happening, and there's got to be some change. Nothing changes if nothing changes, and nothing's changing because nobody's changing anything. And that's where I kind of fell into this whole pit of like, what the fuck is going on within our system? Because for 6 years I did watch it play out in front of my eyes as to absolute like madness and uncertainty, and that was on top of dealing with the rape. System trauma is a real thing, just like rape is a real thing, and publication bans are a real thing, and these very real, very invisible things, some not so invisible, some of these things, they need to be talked about, because why not? Why not? So I'm just here to ruffle a few feathers, if you will, because this is bullshit. I'm not here for the future women to have to come behind me and deal with the same stuff I did. I was really grateful that there was Kelly Favreau ahead of me. She went into Parliament and she fought for change in in October of 2023. And, when the rules weren't being followed in 2024, there was no authorities for me to reach out to or that had my back, but it was another woman, another survivor. And that's what this is about. It's the solidarity. It's the unity in numbers. It's the fact that, when I reached out, Kelly reached back, and that she had my back through everything. Like, she has her own life going on. And when Crown didn't show up for my band to get off, Kelly was there, like sending emails. Like, she wasn't there physically, but she was sending emails and blowing up my phone. And that's the type of human that, proves that humans like that exist still, because I haven't seen that within any sort of help that I've received this far from anybody that receives a paycheck from the government. So I'm just here to share a bit of my experience and strength and hope with you, and a little bit of company, because, you're not alone, and things are going to be okay. And reach out. I put the subreddit community together, r/isurvivedyou, to try and bring some connectedness and togetherness for different survivors, because, I may be the one putting this podcast together and organizing these things, but it's really not even about me. This is about other people. So I couldn't do this without you. So thank you for listening to my very first episode ever. And I wanted to wish you all the most love and light, and take care of yourself and each other. And, just be gentle with yourself. There's a lot of weird stuff going on right now. And like, more kind that we can be to ourselves, the more kindness that we'll receive back to us. So yeah, with that being said, thank you for listening to my podcast tonight on It's Me Time. This is About You podcast, and I'll see you all next Thursday.